Life is what happens while you are busy making other plans. A warm welcome, change makers. Welcome if you are here live. I'm sorry I couldn't properly announce this live video. Facebook didn't allow me for whatever mysterious reason. And welcome if you're watching the replay. So I'm sure you know this famous John Lennon quote, life is what happens while you're busy making other plans. And I love this quote because it feels so true. And it makes me laugh a little bit because my mind, my dear, beautiful mind, loves to plan a lot. But I noticed throughout my life that even the best planning is not guaranteed to take us where we desire to be, to this yummy place where we live our desired life and where we make our impact with our unique gifts. And that's why I made this video, because I really think planning is heavily overrated in today's society. And we are invited to get over this planning mania, like I call it in this video. What is life? Life is constant change. It's fluid. It's flowing. Nothing ever stands still. Nothing ever stands still in life. Everything around us changes, it grows, it expands, and we ourselves, we change, we grow, we expand, we change our mind, we have dreams, we change those dreams, we have desires, we change those desires. It happens as we move forward in life. And I really want to give you a sense of what I'm talking about here. So here is this ever-changing, ever-flowing stream of life. And here are our plans. And I invite you to just feel into that for a moment. Here's the ever-flowing stream of life, and here are our plans. Even if as I describe it and as I move my hands, described it with my hands, it felt a little heavy in that place where I pointed with our planning, where our plans are. And you might notice that yourself. Our constant planning, those elaborate, detailed plans that our beautiful mind loves to do, they are simply not compatible. They are not aligned with this ever-flowing, ever-changing, ever-growing stream of life. One thing is over here and the other thing is here. So this stream of life and our constant, elaborate planning, they're not compatible. They're not aligned. And get me right, planning is great. It's a great tool if, for example, you want to build a house. It's not so great, though, if you want to create your soul-led life. If you want to create your soul-led life, planning in detail is absolutely a bad idea. And that's why I say planning is so overrated in our society, because planning is the propagated solution to every single of our problems and of our desires. Planning comes, of course, from our minds. And in our society, in today's society, in this society that we all grew up, the mind rules. But when we look at the truth, planning isn't the recipe for everything that you're looking for. If it was, you and I and half of the world, we would have manifested our dream lives years or decades ago because we were good girls and good boys and we did a lot of planning in our lives. Instead of planning, I suggest acting more instead. And let me explain further because I really don't want to advocate being in this constant doing mode that keeps us busy always. The do-do mode or the hamster's wheel of doing. That's not what I mean when I say I suggest instead of planning to act more. So don't go over to the do-do mode, to this always being busy mode, because that's an absolutely exhausting place to be. It's the very contrary to our natural desire of ease. So when I say I suggest doing more or acting more, I am talking about, of course, soul aligned next steps. Planning is absolutely overrated. Knowing the next step is enough. And I want to repeat that because that is critical. Planning is overrated, and knowing the next step is enough to move forward and reach your goals. Most goals, especially when we are talking about creating your soul-led life. And another step, of course, you need to take action and do this next step as soon as you know it. Not planning around it, not thinking that next step to death. No, when you know your soul aligned next step, you are invited to take it, to actually take it. That's taking action in the flow. And that brings back this, or that brings back you into that wonderful flow of life that life really is. When you do that, boom, you're back in the flow of life where your action step meets the flow, meets the wisdom, meets the ease of life. That is riding the wave of life, riding the flow of life. And that's where you and I, where we want to be, in the flow of life. By the way, that gives you the single best outcome with the least amount of effort. That is moving forward with ease. When you take action in the flow, when you take soul aligned action, it means the least amount of effort and the most amount of outcome, the best outcome. So the message of this video is not to give up planning totally. Of course not. We were born with this beautiful mind, and planning is a wonderful tool that our mind has. The message is to plan a little less and ask for your next step a little more, especially when it comes to creating your soul-led life and also making the impact you came here to make in the world. Because, to say it in other words, planning in these areas is really slowing you down. It's keeping you out of the flow of life, this wonderful ease-filled forward movement that life really is. The next question is, whom do you ask for your soul-aligned next step? It's a soul-aligned next step. So, of course, you ask your soul what that next step is that takes you where you want to be. And the answer that you get, you will receive that through your intuition. And there are many different ways you can perceive this answer. There's not a right or a wrong way to perceive this answer through your intuition. Maybe you can feel the answer in your body. Maybe you just have this inner knowing what the answer is. It suddenly pops up and you just know it. Or maybe your inner eyes see something. It's a bit like a memory or an inner picture, or maybe you hear something, you hear the answer. It's as if your soul whispers a secret and shares a secret with you. No matter how you perceive the answer, that's your intuition sharing this wisdom from your soul with you. Your intuition is the language of your soul. It's how your soul communicates with you. And I invite you to go and do that right now. I invite you to take a deep breath in and breathe all the way down into your belly, further down into your hips, into your legs, into your feet. You can allow that breath to leave your body. And then just decide to take a soul aligned next step in this week, in the next couple of days, and decide to listen to what your intuition tells you to do. And I want to add something. You don't need to have a clear goal, because sometimes, especially when it's about creating our desired lives, making the impact we came here to make, we don't have a clear goal. That's an evolving goal. It's a moving goal. And you don't need to know where you're going exactly. And I have two different questions you can ask, and you can choose whatever feels best for you. So the first question you can ask your soul is, what is my next step on my soul aligned journey for the highest good of all? What's my next step on my soul aligned journey for the highest good of all? I love that little bit of for the highest good of all. That's just my thing. And you see, when you ask this question, you don't even have to know exactly where your goal is, how it looks like, where you will be in a year, 3 or 5 years from now. So that's the first question you can ask. And the second question is, what is the soul aligned next step that takes me toward where I desire to be? Because your soul knows. Your soul isn't stupid. Your soul knows exactly what your biggest desires are, what your life plan is. So you can ask these open questions. And after asking one of these questions, or both, whatever you like, take a moment to listen to what your intuition tells you to do. Just be in that open and curious space where you do not expect a specific outcome, a specific answer. And the answer that comes up, it can be literally anything. It doesn't need, absolutely doesn't need to be a logical next step, because the answer doesn't come from your mind, it comes from your soul. And your soul has this view from above. It knows about the millions of moving pieces that your mind doesn't know, that your mind cannot know. And that's why the answer you get might actually surprise you and might be completely illogical. And your next step that you perceive, that can be very, very little, or it can be bigger. And if it feels too big, if you think, oh my God, I cannot do this in the next couple of days or the upcoming week, that feels too big, then simply ask for a smaller step. Go back to ask your soul and ask for a smaller step. And if you are into journaling, I love journaling. If you're into journaling, you can ask one of these questions both and start writing for a few minutes. Do some free writing, just allowing the answers to come out of you without censoring yourself. Just writing down whatever pops up without thinking about it. And the last step, of course, when you get an answer, take action. Take action. So that's it. And please let me know in the comments if you would like to create a deeper connection with your intuition, if you like to learn how you can easier understand what your intuition wants to tell you. So you can create this two-way, this co-creational relationship with your intuition to build your soul-led life. I ask because I plan another free 4-week course, something like the business course that I just did. And yeah, just let me know if this is something that would serve you. Have a wonderful rest of the day wherever you are, and I see you next time. So bye bye for now.